put migrants in a hotel there by the name of Stradey Park. It's a Stradey Park hotel. They basically lined up. They demonstrated for days and days and days on end. We played you a little video earlier of their love for Talk TV, which is very nice. Richard's here. What an extraordinary
A very
story.
good morning to you, Mike. Yes, so I went to Llanelli yesterday, and it was remarkable. It was a great experience to see concerned residents in a local community actually standing up against the government, standing up against the Home Office, standing up against this illegality, and basically saying enough is enough.
Right.
What's remarkable about this is that the access road into the hotel, and this is a big hotel, it's sort of the premier hotel.
It was a very good local hotel, wasn't it?
It's a very good hotel that is very much respected and used by the locals a lot. The access road is actually owned by one of the neighbours.
Right.
It's an unregistered piece of land owned by one of the neighbours, and they've previously granted rights of access to the hotel owners.
Right.
So the neighbour has withdrawn the rights of access
Very sensible.
to the hotel, which is a very sensible thing to do. Slightly unique situation.
Right.
And then what they've done is they've brought in some huge blocks. I think you may have a picture of me standing on one of these blocks with the residents.
Yeah.
So they've put that to block the road. They've then got tents, which they've also put in the road, and they're carrying out a shift system, a rota, so that people are there 24/7. People are sleeping overnight. It's wonderful. The community all come together with this. People have brought food, sleeping bags. So 8 to 10 people are sleeping overnight in the tent.
And basically what's happened here is that the government has, without really telling anyone in the neighbourhood, telling the community, we're taking over this hotel, we're going to fire all the people that work there.
That's right. Well, they've been fired.
Right. We're going to give the control of the hotel to presumably a contractor, whether it's
to one of the big, whether it's them or Capita Circa.
Like,
and so 100 people, 100 people from the locality have all lost their jobs, decent jobs. And, you know, this is outrageous, and no one's talking about this enough. Up and down the country, the thousands and thousands of local people who've lost their jobs as part of this, and they may well then have to sign on benefits, so the cost to the taxpayer increases, and the impact on the community. And so therefore, quite rightly, the people in Llanelli, the good people there, have said enough is enough. They've looked for some support from their local MP, one Nia Griffiths, who said absolutely nothing. He's basically said, you've just got to accept it, get on with it, as though, you know, don't whinge, don't whine, you've just got to accept it. And the people have said, no, we're not going to accept it. We're going to say enough is enough. We're standing in the way. I think this is a defining moment.
We haven't been asked. I think you're absolutely right. People have already started saying that to me today, that the Welsh have shown the way to what we should be doing here. Let's have a look.
I'm here in front of the Stradey Park Hotel in Llanelli, and as you can see, there's a significant demonstration of local people who are demonstrating against the plan to have some 300 asylum seekers brought here. And the reason is that they think that it's unfair, it's unjust. The first thing that's already happened is that some 100 people locally have already lost their jobs who worked in this hotel, which is the biggest hotel in the area. And that's not right, that's not fair. But also, what we've got here is neighbours to the hotel who actually own the access land. They've said, enough is enough. We're not going to allow access into the hotel. Local people are sleeping overnight, ensuring that there is no access to this hotel. This is a local community that is standing up to Westminster, standing up to the Prime Minister and saying, enough is enough. We want to stop the boats. We want all the asylum seeker applications, the backlog, to be dealt with urgently, immediately. It's not fair, it's not right. But the good people here, they know that actually it's only Reform UK that will stop the boats.
It's a fascinating story, and as you were saying, Richard, they have, for the moment anyway, sort of chased away the people who were occupying the hotel and trying to set it up.
I tell you what,
the migrants haven't actually been moved in.
No one should underestimate the determination of the good people of Llanelli to ensure that this doesn't happen. And from everything I've heard, they will stay there for as long as it takes until this proposal is stopped. And I think it's really important. The idea that you can sack a whole group of local staff, local workers from the local community and bring in a bunch of cleaners from Birmingham is absolutely outrageous.
It is.
It really is.
Because those people presumably will live in the hotel. They will stay in that hotel for as long as...
That's right. Whilst I was there, so a guest arrived with a voucher to use the hotel, to stay overnight and to use the spa. Because it's so recent, people haven't been told. They just shut the thing.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this is going on all over the place.
Well, I think there's somewhere in the region of 400 to 500 hotels that have been commandeered and down the country,
At least.
that we know of. And as you say, nobody is ever asked. There's never any kind of consultation process, it seems to me. All I hear is that people ring into my show from time to time and say, well, we were going to have a 65th party at this hotel. It's been cancelled. We tried to book a wedding reception. It's been cancelled. You know, it goes on all the time.
And these people are doing it out of their own passion, from their heart, because they live locally. Very occasionally, some protesters from sort of the other side of the debate will rock up. They're students paid from one of the local universities, probably at Swansea, paid 20 or 30 quid to rock up for a few hours, wave a few placards, and then disappear. They don't really know what they're there for. I think it's really significant, and I think many people up and down the country can draw a heart, as you say. The Welsh are leading the way on this.
Absolutely. Well, we spoke to the Voice of Wales, the journalists who were covering the story last week, and they told us that they're very determined. And at the moment, I think the situation is that the people who were inside the hotel have left, and there was great cheers that went up as they watched the final Range Rover leaving the premises. You know, so I presume at the moment the premises are empty.
As I understand, it's completely empty. They're not going to let anybody in. And this will go on, I think, until the Home Office admit and agree that hotel will not be used and it should be reopened.
And it might well be that because of it, of the difficulties that they're having, the Home Office might just give up and just go, well, if we're going to face this much opposition, maybe we should just find somewhere else.
I certainly hope so. I mean, we all know the real answer. I mean, you've got the barge appearing off Portland today. That's like 1 day's worth
509
of arrivals.
I mean, it's hard to believe, isn't it? A boat that size that can house 509 people only actually covers the numbers coming in 1 day on these so-called small boats.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the madness of the whole situation. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This only stops when you pick people safely out of the boats and you take them back to France. Nothing else will work. The Court of Appeal, the Rwanda scheme, I'm afraid you've always had... You've been over-optimistic about Rwanda.
I have. I'm pleased to see that you've slightly changed your position on that.
Well, I'm trying to be decent.
I do think that if the Rwanda plan had worked, it would have been a deterrent. But I don't see it ever working.
I don't think it'll ever come into fruition. I don't think... If it's 2 or 3 or 4 or 500 out of 40, 50,000, it's just not a deterrent. And then you've got this migration... it's now an act, I think, as of today, as opposed to a migration bill.
And it gives the government power to detain people who have come here illegally and deport them. But you and I both know
we know
they can't deport them.
With the existing staff in the Home Office, nothing will change. Nothing at all will change. You need a complete and utter reset with a whole new group of people in a new Department of Immigration that know how to quickly process them, say you're rejected, and then you can deport them. I'm not accepting this stuff, that you can't deport them. The Labour government 15 years ago, for heaven's sake, and I'm not one to normally give them credit, they were deporting 30,000 people. Not to the EU, but to other countries from where they came. So
and we know that other countries in Europe can deport people. I think somebody told me yesterday, I wasn't able to check if it was true, but I think Norway deported a bunch of people back to North Africa and just said, you're not living here anymore.
This is a nonsense perpetuated by the left, who are all part of the vested interests, who are making a great deal of money, whether it's the lawyers, whether it's the outsourcers, whether it's the hotel companies, whether it's the charities. I tell you what, much more money is being made by the vested interests in this debate, this side of the channel, than the horrific people smugglers on the other side of the channel. It only stops when you pick up and take back.
Exactly right. And here's the other thing that they've done now to sort of kibosh their own immigration bill, which is to say, well, we now don't have enough bricklayers and we don't have enough plasterers. So if you're a smart lefty lawyer, you're going to tell these guys coming from Eritrea and Syria, just tell them you're a bricklayer.
Yeah, I'm a bricklayer, I'm a carpenter, and you're in.
Yeah.
And so it goes on, and it's why don't we train up?
Take a look out for some funny-looking walls being built by people who don't know what they're doing. That's would be my advice.
A bendy wall. That's the top tip.
I mean, but it's ludicrous, isn't it? I mean, on the one hand, we're saying we're going to control this immigration. And I've said this repeatedly to any politician that will be on here, and I say to them, well, what happens if you do process this 170,000 backlog of people, and they all find that they fail the process, what are you going to do then? You can't send them anywhere because they won't do it.
So they say. I tell you what, if I was in charge, they would be deported. You can use existing laws. You've just got to have the wherewithal, the commitment and the determination to do it. And yeah, we should be training our own young people to be tradespeople, whether it's plumbers, chippies, bricklayers, and that's what we've always historically have done.
Yeah. We should play, should we not, just before we let you go, the other video that we've got, which is of you asking the good people of Llanelli whether they're fans of Talk TV.
Absolutely.
Which I rather like. This is particularly good. Have a look.
Well, here we are. We're in the Strady Park Hotel, just in front of it, in Llanelli. Now, does anyone here listen to Talk TV? Wow! There you are. Does anyone listen to the BBC? No! Everyone's on top form today. Marvellous. Well done, everybody. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, I mean, this tells you, doesn't it, how the country has moved away from the traditional, BBC, ITV model. They're looking for an answer as to why everything's going wrong, and they're only getting it from us.
That's right. And up and down the country, I'm campaigning. I was up in where was it? Hartlepool on Saturday. And again, people coming up to me saying, love it, listen to you on Talk.
Yeah.
And I think that the people, the figures are being underestimated. Yeah. I really do.
Absolutely.
Up and down the country, the word is spreading. Yeah. It's fantastic.
It is, absolutely. And I understand you may have picked up a Plank of the Week nomination while you're up there.
I have also. More of that.
More of that later in the week, obviously. Richard, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed. And